Louisville, Kentucky, attractive southern city where tradition and the primordial Ohio River coexist with towering skyscrapers and a forward economy, has been energized by thousands of skate fans and 100 or so top pro skaters. The center of attention, a state-of-the-art half-pipe ramp and an international caliber skateboard event, the Bluegrass Aggression Sessions Skateboard Championships. Welcome to the Louisville Exposition Center near the world-renowned Kentucky Derby, where we'll be bringing you another group of world-class thoroughbreds, the elite of pro skateboarding. Hi, I'm Richard Blade, and with me today to call the action is skateboarding expert John Hogan. John?
Well, it's a pleasure to be here, Richard. You know, I've seen a lot of skateboarding over the last 10 years, but I've never seen anything quite like this. Will the man of the hour, Tony Hawk, remain the world point leader? Or can he be beaten by high-flying Christian Hosoi?
Or will the falls total up to an upset with another ramp wonder man claiming his share of the more than $10,000 purse? Cutting away from the exciting ramp action, we will feature the world's top freestylers and the newest form of skate aggression to hit the streets, street style. So don't wander too far. The Bluegrass Aggression Session will be blazing right after this. Welcome back to the Bluegrass Aggression Session, where the main event, the Pro Ramp Jam, is just about to begin. While we have some time, John, let's explain the concept of the jam.
Well, Richard, it's real simple. The concept of the jam is backyard skating at its best. A group of riders riding fast and furious. If one happens to fall, the next one drops right in.
And those riders in the ranking order from the prelims are as follows. Jeff Phillips from Houston, Texas.
It's said that everything is big in Texas, and Jeff Phillips will substantiate that claim tonight with some big moves.
Lance Mountain from Los Angeles, California.
Lance is one of the seasoned veterans of the pro circuit and has all the moves to win this event.
Steve Caballero from San Jose, California.
Steve has also been around the sport for well over a decade, but his skating is undeniably progressive.
Ken Park from San Diego, California.
Well, Ken is just about to graduate from college with a degree in business, but his number one passion is pro skating.
Mickey Alba from Upland, California.
Mickey is a very aggressive skater who grew up riding 70s era skate parks, but has adapted well to today's predominantly ramp skating.
Christian Hosoi from Venice, California.
Christian is ranked number 2 on the pro circuit, and the reason will be obvious. He manages to maintain a very aesthetic style while pushing his maneuvers to the max, especially his airs.
Gator Mark Anthony of Fallbrook, California.
Gator is a perennial top 5 finisher, but he's been skating particularly hard through the prelims. Gator looks like a threat today.
Tony Magnuson from San Diego, California.
Swedish-born Magnuson has a full repertoire of tricks. Watch for an exciting run from Tony.
Chris Miller of Claremont, California.
Chris builds his routine on speed and difficult tricks. If he can keep it all together, Chris might have a chance.
Tony Hawk from San Diego, California.
Tony is the number 1 rated vertical skater in the world. He can do almost any current trick and perhaps a few nobody's seen before.
With all the top men here and healthy, and with a few underdogs nipping at their heels, it looks like we have the making of a particularly exciting jam. So let's get into round 1, where Jeff Phillips has just started his run.
All right, Phillips on the ramp right now. And Jeff Phillips, as well as the other competitors, are being judged upon style, grace, and of course difficulty of the maneuvers which they're performing and the way that they put them together. Phillips' big layback grind right there. He's a big guy himself, about 6'1", about 180 pounds. Jeff Phillips. Blunt right there, difficult trick, and Jeff's got to be pleased with that run. Lance Mountain now rolling in. Big backside air to start off his run. Lance skating real powerful in this competition. He's got a training facility at his home in Los Angeles, where he lives with his wife and son. Lance showing some great skating ability here. Frontside air, alley-oop. Frontside grind. Lance body jar, hitting his tail on the re-entry. It's a difficult maneuver. As well as that eggplant, Lance staying on it, looking real good right here. One-footed invert, real nice, stylish move. Mixing it up with some sliding tricks now. Comes in with that revert. Stoked. Steve Caballero dropping in now. Starts off with a big backside air. Stevie from San Jose, California. Another long-time professional. Been skating professional now for at least 7 years. Stevie has all the basic tricks down, like that slider to fakie, and does have some of his own, but he's off. Definitely one thing you don't want to do. The judges score down for falling. Ken Park. Ken Park from San Diego, California. Ken is probably the most well-known hand plant innovator. Has a number of stylish hand plants that he's developed, like that eggplant, one-footed right there. Oh, and there's a neon invert. Ken looking real strong. If he can hold it together, this is going to be a great run for him. Powerful. He can break some big airs just like that one. One-footed right there. Ken looking great. Oh, but he's off. Ken falling off, and the judges will be scoring him down. Mickey Alba now on the ramp. Mickey, another long-time professional veteran. In fact, Mickey is probably the most experienced professional skateboarder here.
Yes, in fact, skateboarding runs in his family. Mickey's brother Steve is also a pro. We'll meet up with him later in the program.
Now 23 years old, 10 years of professional experience, and showing it with strong moves like that in the air, a little bit of tweakage on there. Slide and roll shuffle, Mickey Alba, strong run. Frontside grind, stand up. Frontside invert, oh, and he stayed on it. Mickey, yeah. Judges like that kind of ability to stay on, even in a crucial situation. Mickey up, and he's happy about that run. Now Christian Asoy dropping in, lip slide all the way across the deck. It's a disaster backside. Big backside air. Christian is most well known for his stylish high airs. Look at that. That's a McTwist. He busts out with a McTwist. Long traveling alley-oop backside and takes his foot off on that judo air. Christian definitely rips when it comes to getting air. Look at that, in the air, just completely upside down. Christian, powerful, compact person. Only stands about 5'6", but probably weighs about 150 pounds. Very good run right there, Christian Hosoi. Dropping in, Gator, Mark Anthony. Gator seems to be skating real well today. Let's find out his perspective on this ramp.
Now we're spoiled. We have perfect ramps, but they're too big, you know. The Texans are fine because they like big things.
They put that channel in there to make it difficult. It's like an obstacle on the ramp. Gator working that thing every run, going back and forth across the channel. That's called a saran wrap. Look at that, back and forth across the channel. The judges are looking for that kind of line right there. He's just working the ramp. Now coming across the long wall with the lip slide and a fast plant to fakie. Gator powering out a good run. That's a crail slide right there, sliding on the tail. Oh, and he's off. He's off right at time, though. Judges stoked on that run. Tony Magnusson dropping in. Tony, originally from Sweden, part of that Swedish skate movement that started in the late 70s, came here to America to practice at the Del Mar Skate Ranch, and he stayed here. He's now been here for about 5 years. Tony Magnusson, also well known for his ability to catch major air, get way above the ramp. Takes a lot of skill, and obviously it takes a lot of guts to be able to pull off these kind of airs. At least 7 feet above the top of the ramp right there. A lot of commitment on the line from Tony Magnusson. Gaining a lot of speed on that 50-50, goes to air to fakie, rides up and does not turn around the air. Oh, and he hung up on that one. Oh, it's amazing that he's still on the board, but that's what it is to be a professional. You hold on to it instead of bailing. Tony, yeah, big smile on his face right there. Now here's a man who will just blow your mind, Chris Miller. We talked to Chris earlier. Let's find out what he has to say about this ramp.
Yeah, I think this ramp's great. I think as far as the transitions and the amount of vertical go, I think this is about the best ramp that I've ridden.
It looks like he's almost actually going faster than the rest of the riders. Oh, and he's off on that one. Lean air, crossbone lean air, trick he invented, he falls off. Tony Hawk. What else can be said about him? Qualified in first, Tony Hawk. Every variation known to man. Tony Hawk busts out with a McTwist. Yes, one of the hardest tricks in skateboarding. There's a new trick that you'll see Tony doing. Oh, and he falls. Oh, Tony slams on that invert.
Coming up, fast footwork from skating's famed freestylers, plus street style and more ramp action. Freestyle skateboarding is definitely a body language all its own. So before we get back to the ramp jam, let's take a look at the freestyle finals that were held earlier and see how international a language it really is.
Hi, my name's Kevin Harris. I'm from Vancouver, Canada, 25 years old, been skating for about 10 years.
My name's Primo Desiderio. I'm from San Diego, and I'm 26.
My name is Per Willinder. I'm originally from Sweden. I now live in Huntington Beach, California, and I'm 25 years old.
My name is Pierre-Andre, 25 years old. I'm from Paris, France.
Rodney Mullen, 21 years old, and I'm from Gainesville, Florida.
From the start, Kevin Harris knew he'd have to put on quite a show to beat the favored Mullen. Kevin breaking out with his very best tricks. Well known for his fancy, fine footwork on the freestyle board. One of the top riders in the world. Kevin putting on quite a show for everyone. Kevin steps off on that maneuver. These riders are judged on creativity and the fluidity of their moves, how they put them together, and of course, difficulty. Kevin Harris, one of the world's top freestylers, ending his routine, the number of 360 variations.
Before we get into Primo's run, let's visit Mr. and Mrs. Desiderio at work.
It's good. It's going to get a lot of laughs.
Primo and Diane Desiderio are not your average working couple. At SeaWorld San Diego, they are the central performers in a sort of West Side Story on skateboards, appearing before thousands of tourists daily. Diane leads a kindly neighborhood crew in a skate-off against Primo's street-savvy gang, and some furious skating ensues. In the end, though, skateboarding's only choreographed couple find common ground. Where else but atop their boards?
Primo Desiderio, one of the most flamboyant pro skaters. Wow, with moves like that, definitely one of the most talented. Primo, long-time professional, been about 4 years professional, 5 years professional now. Oh, and he steps off, and you can't do that in this form of competition. You don't want to fall off your board once again. It's critical. Up on the rail now, handstands. That's called a pogo. Looks like a pogo stick. Flipping the board. So precise, the art of freestyling.
You can tell that Primo is used to skating in front of crowds because under pressure the guy is so hot, and that was a terrific performance, almost flawless apart from that one slip when he stepped off the board.
This is Per Willander. Per, handstand, kickflip, that's a hard trick, definitely. Per has been on the pro scene for about 5 years now. Per, definitely a well-known name in the sport of freestyle. It takes a lot of discipline for these guys practicing every day. One of the benefits of this sort of skating is that you can do it indoors and you don't require a lot of room. And he's doing what's called a ho-ho plant right now.
Up next, we've got Pierre-André, the very talented French champion with whom we met up recently in Southern California.
I was in Paris and my mom bought me a skateboard for my birthday, 16th birthday, and then I tried it and I feel that was nice, I like it. And then I went to Paris and I've seen some skaters doing freestyle and I get involved this way. Freestyle is really international because you can practice everywhere. You don't need a ramp, you don't need anything, you just need a flat ground. And so it's pretty easy to practice wherever you want. Freestyle was really different than other kind of skating as like ramp or street because we skate with music. Continuez de faire du freestyle et n'arrêtez pas même si des fois c'est dur. I just said just push yourself in freestyle and don't stop freestyle because sometimes it's hard but you will enjoy it.
Pierre-André. This Frenchman is definitely giving longtime champion Rodney Mullen a run for his money in the sport of freestyle. Look at that. One-footed 360s, holding one of his feet. Definitely takes a lot of commitment, a lot of practice. That's a G-turn, turning on one wheel, a lot harder than it looks. Pierre-André now rolling backwards G-turn. Pierre is from France. He's also a very proficient street-style skater. Likes to skate underneath the Eiffel Tower. Rodney Mullen, definitely the man to beat in freestyle. World champion for 5 years in a row. He's only been beaten once in competition. In professional competition, Rodney, you rarely ever see him step off the board. Oh, and there, one of the rare slip-ups you'll ever see of Rodney. It's still just as amazing, comes back to nearly flawless routine. Notice how the board differs from the vertical board, much skinnier. Trucks are made specially to be the exact width of the board.
In the end, Mullen maintained his title, with André a strong second, Desiderio third, and Wellander and Harris a respectable fourth and fifth. Dave Stanfield caught up with the winner for this interview.
Rodney, congratulations. The World Championship, you know there's guys breathing down your neck. Do you go all out every performance?
No, I don't. Sometimes I hold back a little. That's something I need to work on. But I did pretty well there.
I noticed you weren't watching a couple of competitors. You were more concentrating and getting into your own competition.
It freaks you out if you watch other guys. It's wrong to do.
So you don't know what they've done. You just got to concentrate on what you're doing.
All right, that's the way to go.
Outstanding performance. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Coming up, the street-style attack and outrageous ramp action. Welcome back from John Hogan and myself, Richard Blade. We got more of the Ramp Jam coming up soon, but right now let's take a trip back to the early days of this amazing sport.
Well, started off in the late 1950s, early 60 area, and we had steel wheels back then on a little tiny 2x4 that was hardly big enough to put one foot on, let alone two. as you roll down the street, old ladies would throw rocks out in front of you, and our biggest hazard was hitting those rocks with the steel wheels, in which they didn't suck up the bumps very well at all. And then we saw teams like Vitapact Orange Juice is one of our sponsors, and Hobie also sponsoring teams, Jack's down in Huntington Beach, which is still around. Through the steel wheels, we finally got the clay composite old chalk wheels, and finally we thought those were tops. The old maneuvers. You know, we were a bunch of surfers landlocked when the waves were down. We couldn't catch the suds action. We'd just stay inside and catch a shore break on the sidewalks. We'd have our steel wheels and we'd try and imitate hang 5, hang 10, hit a rock, fall off, hang body. We had our Quasimodos and our Daffys, and we'd lay down into our coffins. Back then, there was hardly anything. If you could do a kick turn or one simple 360, you were considered to be awesome on the block.
Well, there's a lot of difference in just going in speed and fast and carving, and full skating is a lot more aggressive than ramp skating. Skating's more fun when it's you just have a pool or a pipe or just anything that's spontaneous. So you just go with your friends and have a good time.
What's that they say, Richard, about mad dogs and Englishmen?
Too long a story to tell you right now, John, I'm afraid.
Seriously, skateboarding did start off on the sidewalks and streets, and some insist that's where it's returning.
Where I live in Los Angeles, there's not very many ramps, so we just street skate every day.
You can always find a different situation in the street. Street style is the world's most popular form of skateboarding today.
Just try to go fast, stay low, and stay on.
Street style competition is a natural outgrowth of this popular and increasingly sophisticated form of skating. Victor Starr designed the Aggression Sessions course, adapting key elements from the street environment.
It's a hybrid of what the ramps that they build and some of the things that you see naturally in the street and around the country. It should be very challenging. There's a few things in there that they haven't ridden before, but it also should be things that they're used to riding.
Before we get to these street style finals, let's see how our competition course compares to the real thing. The street style finals evolved into a matchup of three of the most established names in skating. Eric Dressen, 21, from Venice, California. Steve Caballero, 23, from San Jose, California. And Christian Hosoi, 21, also from Venice.
Now dropping in the street style area, Eric Dressen, starting out strong with a slider down that hand railing. Oh, but he slams, falls off heading up that banked ramp. Of course, the judging, same as the other events, difficulty of maneuvers, style, and power which you put into them. Dressen recovering from that fall, now looking pretty strong, getting some speed up. Big carve over that wall section. Dressen attacking front side of the wall, and a big ollie Common street maneuver up to that bench right there. Big air to fakie. Going off one jump ramp to the other. A Bertleman on the takeoff ramp now has some good speed. A slide and roll. Notice how they slide on the bottom of the boards like that. Nose wheelie 360. Dressing one of the top pro riders, street style riders. Getting some speed now. Looking for a final big maneuver. Big burly frontside air. Steve Caballero dropping in. 360 backside air. Perfection. Now in a big nose wheelie. 360 nose wheelie. Caballero looking rad right here. Frontside air on that vertical wall. About a 4-foot transition to a 6-foot high vertical wall. Now down the slide and roll and onto the little bank. Frontside grind there. Heading up a new line, taking up the handrail. And a big carve to that vertical wall. Caballero, a slappy on the curb right there, backside slappy. Ollies up onto one of the obstacles. Ollieing is a trick that is commonly used in everyday skating, where the rider pops the board, the tail of their board on the ground, guiding the board up in the air. All these pro riders use the ollie, like right there. Christian Asoy, big ollie right there onto the platform. Christian, known for his ability to catch air, showing his street style savvy right now, way up on the wall. Christian, oh, and he's off. Christian smiling, having a good time in the street style event. Big boneless one, a boosting trick. Christian looks a little bit off on this run. Not quite putting everything together, but still skating very rad, as usual. Christian headed with lots of speed towards the wall. Up, yeah, frontside air, transferring across that gap. I wonder what that cow's there for. Ollie on that big bank surface, and he does a 360 air right there. Backside air, 360, and finishes up with a nose wheelie. Classic G-turn nose wheelie. Oh, and Christian falls off.
In all, it was an invigorating street event with Caballero raging into first, Dresden in second, and Hosoi third. Now let's go down to the sidelines for Steve's perspective on the event.
I guess it was everything I was doing and just staying on my board, because the judges like it when you do a nice, clean run, and that's what it takes to win a contest.
You're known for ramp and snowboarding and skimboarding. This is a big street style win, or just one in a many?
I've won a lot of contests, but I couldn't count them all, you know.
This is one in many. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Coming up, round 2 as the ramp finals shift into high gear. Welcome back to the Bluegrass Aggression Session with the Ramp Jam Finals.
You know, Richard, these guys are under some severe pressure. Major pro salaries, some in the 6-figure range, are dependent on the outcome of these contests.
That's right. So to find out how these guys are coping with the pressure, our man Dave Stanfield logged some comments from them earlier.
You're here to win. What's it going to take? Personal, inside, thinking about it.
Well, you're always here to win, you know. I mean, if you didn't think you would win, you wouldn't be here in the first place, you know.
How are you going to please the judges in the final then? Are you going to do anything different?
Yeah, I'm going to do a totally different runs. I've been doing the same run for like 4 years. I do the same trick after certain tricks. I think it's a time to change.
Do all my tricks and keep a good head about it. Make runs without flaws and go as high and as efficient as I can. And if I win within me, I'll win.
What's it going to take to win? You're going to have to beat Tony Hawk, you know. He's #1 right now. Ranking, #1 qualifying. And you're just going to have to take him down, you know, with whatever you've got.
And that just about says it all. You've got to beat the #1, Tony Hawk. And with that thought in mind, let's rejoin the action with the final set of runs.
Jeff Phillips dropping in. Powerful Phillips, big frontside air. He's got to put it all on the line right here. Oh, and he falls, and that's going to be it. Ends his run prematurely. Lance Mountain. Oh, big McTwist right there. Lance Mountain almost falling on that one, but hanging on. Working the whole ramp, Lance Mountain showing that he is a consummate professional, doing all the tricks, taking all the risks. Oh, frontside air with maximum compression to get over that channel. Lance Mountain building up lots of speed and almost hanging up on that backside air. Lance stalling an invert and going 50-50 to fakie. Attacking the wall frontside, that is with his face towards the wall. Now backside again with that fast plant. And that's to fakie, going backwards, showing all three different ways you can ride a skateboard. Oh, and he falls. Lance Mountain slams on that one. He looks very disappointed.
Steve Caballero drops in. Earlier we spoke to Steve about how it feels to compete in two separate events in one competition.
I'd rather have just a plain street contest, because then you can concentrate on that, and a plain ramp contest, because you concentrate on that. It's like when you have both of them together, you get real tired, and you want to concentrate on one event, really, to do good. It's pretty hard to do good in both, but some guys can.
And Steve is definitely one of those guys who can excel in both.
Stevie definitely pulling it all out right here. And frontside slide and roll, another amazingly hard trick. The level of difficulty has gone way up for Stevie, who's trying to fight his way into those top money positions. Stevie, with the final seconds of his run, doing all he can, sliding it out, and he's going to be satisfied with that. Stevie Caballero. Ken Park dropping in. Starts off strong with that neon invert. Ken, eggplant right there. Looking real strong in this competition. Definitely working it out hard. Big backside air. Another alley-oop traveling backwards across the ramp. Airwalk. Looking great on this run. Ken going wild over the gap frontside right there. Frigid air, putting it all together. Ken looking so strong. Big frontside boneless. Setting up with an axle stall. Going to be doing a hard trick. Finger flip invert. Oh, and he loses it. Ken falling on that one. Earlier, Ken had one of the most dramatic wipeouts of the event. While there's a lull, let's take a look at it. Ken, big backside air right there. He's traveling with major speed right now. Big frontside air. His front foot comes off a little bit, tries to hold on, and he's going with high speed right into that fencing. Luckily for him, that fencing broke his fall, and as you can see, he was uninjured. Ken doing a little dance to show the crowd that he's okay, ready to skate again. Mickey Alba now dropping in for his final run. Mickey, big backside airs. Alley-oop way over the channel and hitting us frontside right there. Perfect angle view of what it looks like to be above the lip. A saran wrap, wrapping his front leg around the whole board. Mickey uses those basic tricks to power himself up into the finals, using a lot of skill and daring, pushing it all to the limit. Mickey is another compact skater, standing only about 5'4", weighing about 135 pounds, solid, much like a gymnast in his build. Rock and roll shuffle, that's a hard trick. Yeah, and he rolls out from the backside air. Yeah, flips it around on the deck. Innovative skating in the face of heavy competition. Mickey Alba pulling out something that nobody else is doing, and that's what the judges like to see, and he is stoked. Yes, getting some congratulations from Tony Magnuson, another pro competitor. Now, Christian Hosoi dropping in. The whole crowd is definitely up for Christian. He can bust out with some big tricks. Yes, very nice. Frigid air. Backside airs are his specialty, like that. Perfectly executed. Christian Hosoi. Everything from McTwist to rocket air. Yes, method lean air. Christian pulling off all the air tricks, a big backside ollie. His hand never touches the board there. That's called a less twist. Frontside grind, and he's oh so sketchy, but he pulls it off. Christian holds on. Yeah. Christian rolling out. Drops back in for one last bit of the run. Yeah, frontside ollie over the channel. He did not touch. Now it's a manual roll across top of the ramp. Lays it back. Christian definitely stoked that he hung on that run. Big layback at the end. Christian Hosoi. Accolades from the crowd and his fellow competitors.
Stay tuned for the exciting conclusion of the Ramp Jam Finals. Welcome back to the Bluegrass Aggression Session, where we're in the last half of what is an extraordinary Pro Jam final.
Sure is, Richard. Gator Mark Anthony is up next for his final run. But first, let's take a look at this very demonstrative skater.
I don't think you can be too serious about skateboarding. That's kind of what ruins it. To stay competitive, you have to keep it fun. And when you keep it fun, you keep learning things. It's a blast.
Skaters, oh skaters, love to ride that crater. Not couch potatoes and ain't procrastinators. My name's Gator the Skater. Ain't no couch potato. Love Mother Nature. Love it all. Love that mean old lady. I'll kiss her, I'll never hate her. I'm the Gator the Skater. Chock-a-lockin' in the crater, yeah.
I've always been an expressionist, so to speak. And rather than doing a team sport or something really redundant and something really regular, I'd rather do something that's expressive and creative and fast and athletic and kind of rambunctious. I think that's why skateboarding really turns me on and why I excelled in skateboarding, is because I was always in a pretty rambunctious youth. It seems to me that California kind of invented skateboarding. I don't know what it is. It's just that Western attitude. It's that Western influence. It seems like, you know, all the other countries and parts of America are, you know, indirectly and directly influenced by the style, the tricks, the aggression, the attitude of California skateboarding. It was bred here, and in backyards and in pools and in alleyways and in parking lots and streets. And it's come a long way since that. It's cleaned itself up a lot, but I think the roots and the raw edge of hardcore skating still exists in California and will be recognized by pretty much all the world. I'd rather just do what I do and have fun at it, and if somebody happens to like it, that's fine. If somebody happens to like the way I skate, that's great. If somebody happens to like the way my hair is parted, more power to you. But be who you are, you know. It's not rock and roll. It's not a glam show at all. You know, good skating is good skating. It's what it's all about.
Gator Mark Anthony now on the riding surface, and Gator is definitely known for his plethora of tricks. He can do just about any trick on just about any surface, and Gator method lean air. Kicking his foot off right there, that definitely will titillate the crowd. Slider to fakie. Gator, big gay twist right there. Gator busting out with a big McTwist right there, yes. A fast plant lean air over the channel. There's a slob air fast plant. Gator, oh, and he slams so hard. Dropping in, Tony Magnuson. Big backside airs. Tony, always a contender for first place. So far, hasn't been able to surmount the challenges of Tony Hawk and Christian Hosoi. Trying with this run. Big backside air is way over our heads. Look at that. Easily 8 feet above the top of the ramp. Frontside air just barely touching. A big stale fish grabbing the board from underneath. Tony Magnuson, and he loses it. Chris Miller dropping in. Speedy Chris Miller. Backside air getting some major speed. Way up in the air. Miller, nosebone frontside air, one of his patented tricks. All over this ramp. Miller fast plant, so speedy. And there's an Indy air on the edge of disaster. There's another lean air. Fast plant to fakie, very difficult trick. And Chris goes in with a half gay twist. Oh, and then he's off.
Tough break for Miller. He was doing great, but this might take him out of the running.
Tony Hawk on the ramp right now. Definitely the wonder child of skateboarding. Front side air over the channel. A big stale fish right there. A McTwist. A 540-degree turn. A McTwist. Tony ripping it. A fast plant to fakie over that gap once again. Working the whole ramp is what it's all about. Tony body jar. And there's a tail slide. Tony frontside lip slide. And there's a frontside ollie to tail. Going up, follows it with a backside ollie to tail. Difficult lip maneuvers. Tony, and he goes for a 720. A 720, and he makes it. And he's so happy. Tony Hawk flipping out.
What an incredible finish to an overall incredible ramp jam event.
We know it's going to be very tight, Richard. Tony put on a tremendous charge with that last run. Let's take a look at that 720 aerial in slow motion. He was riding up the wall in the fakie position, grabs his board, and spins completely around twice before landing back again on the riding surface. That is one of the few 720s ever seen in competitive skating.
But I guess you'd have to say Hosoi with his emphasis on high airs and his smooth style, and maybe Gator, who put on a surprisingly energetic performance, cannot be counted out. Let's go down to the floor with Dave Stanfield and see what the crowd thinks.
Who do you think won?
Tony or Hosoi.
No, Gator all the way, yeah.
Okay. Maybe Chris Miller.
Chris Miller, man, you guys are watching it. Okay, if you had to pick one, who do you think won? Really?
Tony.
Gator.
Tony.
Well, if the crowd is any measure, it should be a tight horse race. So, John, place your bets now. We'll be right back with the final results.
We'll be right back with the winner.
Welcome back to the Bluegrass Aggression Session, where we're coming up to the announcement of the top 3 places in the ramp event. So let's go directly to the arena floor.
Third place, Tony Hawk. With $2,000, Richard, the file man itself goes to Christian Hosoi.
And that's it. We have a new ramp champion, Gator Mark Anthony, winning $3,000. Christian Hosoi in second place gets $2,000, and Tony Hawk comes in third with $1,000. Now let's go on back down to the floor where our Dave Stanfield is standing by with the number 1, Gator.
Gator, congratulations. What everybody's noticing here, the enthusiasm after you won. Everybody, including your other competitors, were so excited. Your feelings?
Oh, man, I couldn't have done it without the crowd participation, and I don't know, it's coming to a different level, you know. Skating's an energy now, you know. It's something to do. It's something to root for, and I'm just really excited. God, I took a couple slams, you know. I'm glad I won, but geez, all these slaps and all this all this cheer, it's just getting me down.
What was the I mean, what has changed you so much? I mean, you have stepped up to a whole new realm. I mean, this sport's been dominated by basically two guys off and on, and everybody's kind of breaking in. You really made an impact today. Why?
I think it starts down home, Dave, and back in my room at home and with Barry Zaritsky, my trainer. And I don't know, I guess I kind of turned a new leaf and did a little quit partying and kind of concentrating someday on having total body control. And I really like gymnastics and dance and stuff like that. I've been to a few gymnastics events. Those gymnasts.
The skill level. Congratulations. Final thoughts?
Skateboarding is for me.
The ever-glib Mr. Anthony strikes again. Skateboarding is for me. And with that thought, we'll leave you folks at home to grab your own boards, hit the pavement, and have your own aggression session. For John Hogan, for Dave Stanfield, and myself, Richard Blade, thank you very much for joining us at Freedom Hall, Louisville, Kentucky for the Bluegrass Aggression Sessions Skateboard Championships.